There you go.
And so basically for me, it's pretty awesome time to be alive and working with the people, the Maidu people, and pretty much everywhere. We believe in a strong community, because without a strong community, how are we going to move forward in the future in keeping our air clean, our water clean, and clean dirt for us to grow our food on? Those aren't really too much things to ask for our future generations, in my opinion. And more and more people, more and more places I go to, the more and more things that I do, I find more people are agreeing with that. They realize, yeah, we say we have some pretty tough air laws in California. I remember back in the 70s, I'd go to LA and you couldn't even swim in the oceans. Okay, so we are cleaning it up. Today, what we're doing here is a step in that direction. You can look around right now and see how pretty it is here. It's a really nice little piece of property. And over the years, I've seen it, the building that on it, be different things. I've seen it be a bar. I've seen it be just a little stop, a little restaurant. And the guy that owns it, and he's given us the ability to thank our ancestors and show them that we're here and that we appreciate what they have done for us. You can hear some birds singing right now as I'm speaking, and I do think it's our ancestors speaking to us and thanking us and looking down on us and saying, "Good job." So I invite as many people that want to come here, come and volunteer, check it out, see what we're doing. But I also want to get the word out to a lot of the Nishan, Maidu, and Kankau people, Machipta people, and them, and also the other natives around here to come and check us out and see what we're doing, because a community takes all of us, and it's all of us. I'm glad that you guys are all here, and I'm just not the best person to be talking. I guess I could talk all day, but I'm learning. This is a learning experience. I've lived on the land most of my life. Traditional ecological knowledge is something that I just thought that that's what I learned how to do. So I didn't think it was anything neat, but now a lot of people are learning that we do need that knowledge, that traditional knowledge. When I was a young kid, they told us that we didn't have agriculture, so we weren't civilized. Well, we were way beyond agriculture. We had permaculture. Our ancestors set it up for us way long before that. And all we had to do is take care of it. So it was good. If any of you guys want to ask questions about what we're doing, the guy who go ahead.
I have a question regarding traditional ecological knowledge and what we skipped before I remembered that we weren't recording yet. Les, could you tell us more about what's happening up in Yellow Creek and Humbug Valley? How's my koyam?
Well, I think I'm going to just let Ricky talk a little bit more about that, because he's actually more on the ground and on the site there than I am. So Ricky, go ahead and fill us in.
Maybe less. At Tasman-Koyam, what it is 2,325 acres of our ancestral land that has been returned to us. And how we got it back was because the PG&E went bankrupt quite a few years ago, and we have tough Maidu women that have been going to meetings for like 10 years now, and we finally got the deed back to this land about 6 months ago, and we've been up there working on it. Working on it means restoring the land. We had to clean it up because we had a campground there, and the previous owners didn't maintain any of it, so we had to redo the water system, have it all checked, make sure that it was good water for people to drink. We did that. We had a whole bunch of cows coming onto our land, and one of our main persons that works up there, Ben Cunningham, he worked almost all summer to chase the cows off of our land. And it worked. We were up there enough that it promoted the people that live next door to us. I had the adjacent property whose cows were there. They built a fence that needed to be built at least 100 years ago. But it's finally there because we're up there on the land. This year, we were up there working on the land, and we had a lightning fire and hit the middle of the valley. This year was a big fire season in Northern California, as everybody knows. Well, the fire that struck our piece of property turned out to be only 17 acres because we were there. We were all sitting there at camp, and Ben saw it, said fire out there. We went out there, and we're not all heroes, but we know we've all been around fire and been around our land. And what we tried to do is make the fire not go to the forest, to the timber. And we pretty much succeeded to do that. And then the foresters came in with their helicopters and their airplanes and their workers. They all flew in and they put it out. We only lost 17 acres. And that's because we were there. It was great. We've cleaned up the campground, so it's not really as much of a fire hazard. All the branches were cut down to the ground, so it was a big fire hazard. We took out at least 6 inches of pine needles, removed branches, old wood that was nothing but a fire hazard. And some of the things that we're doing is we're meadow restoration, bank restoration, because there was logging up there. So when the skidders and stuff, they came on the sides of the mountains, they tore trails, and we've been taking a lot of the underbrush from the campground onto those trails and putting it over the trails so it doesn't just wash away. It doesn't just erode the banks. So that's going to help in for that. A lot of the other stuff, when Ben was out there fixing the fence, I went out there to help him. And my contribution to this fence was 1 nail. And Ben was doing a lot of it before they built the other one. We were trying to get the old one back together. Well, when I walked out there, I noticed a whole bunch of just looked like holes. Like someone took a backhoe and cut holes in there, and it looked bad. And it looked just like scars on the earth. So I said, well, why can't we take all this stuff that we're out and take it out to the valley and put in these holes for meadow restoration? Because that's another part of things what we're trying to do. And so we did, and it looks really good. It looks like the scars have all been healed. It's going to take a 5-year process to keep on doing this stuff. It's not like it's a 1-year thing. So it's an ongoing job. Once again, we need people to come out there and help. We can pay people, but volunteering is a really good thing. And then one of the major things that we did is I've been arguing with people, and we've been arguing with people about beavers up in our valley for a long time. And we all know that we had beavers in the valley, and people told us that there were never beavers in there. So we had this group come out there to check if there were beavers out there. Well, they found a piece of wood that had beaver marks on it. So they went and analyzed it, and it was 1,700 years old. So there were beavers there. So since there were beavers there, we just decided to do some beaver work on our own. So we built these analog beaver dams, which turned out really great. We rechanneled the water to places that haven't had water to them in a long time, other than the winter snow. The creeks have been changed. Instead of walking through there and seeing ditches and then the water like 4 feet sometimes down below the surface of the ground, we've got the water now to flow level with the ground from building all these beaver dam analogs. And once again, that's another, who knows? We're going to try to get beavers re-established there, and we're going to. We're not going to try, we're going to. But that's going to take a while. So we're going to do that. Once again, we need people to come up there and that want to work, and we'll put them to work. We're creating internships for college and high school students so that they can get through college. We had a program up there to measure the water and how fast the water is flowing and all that kind of stuff. And some of the water, it's some of the coldest water in California. We had a guy up there measuring the water flow and stuff like that. And we had a gathering, and we had young people out there. A couple of our native kids came out there, and they were standing around, and they were told to take part in it and join it, because one day it's going to be those little kids in the water doing these counts. And the kids got really inspired because they realized that this was their land, and they can, what the guy was doing, he gets paid a lot of money to do that job, which he had to go to college to learn how to do it. We've got 3 new Maidu kids. One of them's already going to college, but the other 2 boys, I don't think they were thinking about it. Well, now they are, just because they came out there and they stood and they took part. Every time someone asked them to do something, they stood right up. They were the first ones in line, and they were just so encouraged. I mean, it just made me proud and showed me the benefit that we are doing for our community. It is the future. That's what we think it is. The future is the next generation. And there's just so many other things that we're doing. We're finding the grounders, working with other people. We've got some of the stories that we had the campground open for a short time, which I didn't even want to open it, but everybody else on the board wanted to open it, so we opened it up, which was really a great thing. There's a few people that came out there and told us that we didn't own the land and that we never paid taxes on it, so we never did ever own the land. And I said, well, we really haven't been paying taxes that long, maybe for the last 100 years or so, but before that we didn't pay taxes. And there were some negative people that just didn't want us to have it, but all in all, there were people that came out there and shared their stories. One of my favorite stories is this lady. She told me she was 71 years old, and that she'd be coming out to that campground for 70 years of her life. And she asked me what I wanted to know about that valley. There were people that came out there and they said, my grandfather brought me out here, and now I'm going to bring my grandkids out here. And there were so many stories. I mean, I got pictures of badgers out there this year. I got pictures of otters. I got some really good film. There was over 120 different bird species recorded out there this summer. Okay, yeah. Okay, they all got names, and I don't know their names. I got told somebody I called it a blue jay the other day, and I got in trouble because it's not a blue jay. It's a scrub or a stellar jay. Okay, I don't know all those things, but I can build an awesome ditch, but it's going to take a lot of us, and I'm just really glad that this gentleman right now is giving us this opportunity to work on this little piece of land that we're working on down in Grass Valley. Humbug gathering is in July. I'm not sure if we're going to have it this year because all the crazy stuff that gets on, but you guys will be all invited to it to come up and see what we're doing. And even if we don't have a gathering, get a hold of me over the summertime and you can come up there and check it out and see what we're doing, because it's just so cool. Everybody that I take there says, man, thank you for bringing me home, so I invite all of you guys to do it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of bureaucratic decisions that are made that I really don't agree with. But, like I told some other people, you gave us our land back, which I don't even like saying that, but just see what we're going to do. We've had it for 6 months, and we've already made so many changes to, we're animals already coming back there. People are finding out about it, and it's just an awesome thing. And just thank you for letting me stand here in front of you or behind you or what in front of you guys and talking to you. But I am right now today, I feel like I'm such a blessed person because I'm building a bark house. And maybe it's not exactly like our ancestors did it, but we're going to make it a little bit stronger so it doesn't fall down. We don't have the bark that they had. They had big trees back then with old growth with thick bark. We got these things that we have to, make planks out of. But it's the best we can do. I mean, do what we got to do. We were always people that adapted, and that's what we're doing. But we're educating, and there's so many people that have just stopped by and showed interest. The 2 times that we've been here, they've came by. The community right here really thinks this is a wonderful thing. So let's work together. I haven't come to too many of these meetings, but you'll see my face more, or at least hear my voice probably. So I really don't know what else to say other than here's our wonderful facilitator, I guess. Any questions, I'll be glad to take them and answer them if I can.
Yeah, let's do that. Take some Q&A. We got a couple in the chat. Karen L says she's seen beaver on the Eel River while kayaking. Awesome work, she says. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, this space here, this is 3.5 acres, 3.7 acres, and it's right on the corner of Highway 20 and Mooney Flat Road on the western boundary of Nevada County in Smartsville. Luca, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're hoping to do with this property and the project and whatnot? This is the Return California group. This is the 6th listening roundtable that we posted. They're designed to highlight things that are happening in California's indigenous community around traditional ecological knowledge and the return of public land. We always want to emphasize that no one will lose anything, but everybody will gain something. No one that's a landowner is going to lose their land. Only public land will be returned to traditional stewardship. So that's where our platform is. If you could tell us about the project here and what you're hoping to do, that'd be awesome. Take the phone.
Sure. Hello. Just trying to have a cafe restaurant space here, and just trying to provide food to the community in like a healthy way and create a space that inspires like that and nature connection and connection with food and the local food, the seasons. I have a farm down the road, and that's probably what inspired it, because I've been doing a farm stand in the parking lot a little bit, and just trying to make it into its own kind of farm stand with food and other like local goods that just kind of create more local economy around here. And transforming some of this outdoor space into garden and farm for the cafe place with some outdoor eating space, and then a walk around to kind of learn about what grows around here and what the potential for kind of permaculture and self-sustenance are, and kind of working with the nature systems to provide for ourselves and our community, kind of letting those pieces all be a way to bring community together. And so working with these guys is really great, because it just adds to the whole idea of kind of connection with the land, and just creating a new narrative in the area out of business and the history of the area, and how most businesses are very focused on the kind of colonial culture of the miners, and the gold rush is what's so celebrated around here. So we're trying to just put a different perspective and just celebrate the natural history and what really happened here for 10,000 years, and how do we keep it going in that way to make it sustainable for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So hopefully just getting all those points and bringing people in with good food, and right on the highway, a commercial location to just kind of be a beacon in this dry area. And so thanks for listening.
Oh.
You want to say something? Is that just the video, or is someone live right now?
Oh, we're live recording it. Yeah. It's out there now. What's happening? You're on.
Jahuk and the Maidu. Jahuk. Windwalker. Theo, I just want to say we're doing a good job out here. I'm trying to teach these guys something. We do got some out here that's learning, but they're learning. Give them a chance. They're still learning. Like my grandma says, if you're going to do something, do it right. If you ain't gonna do it, then try not to do it. So I'm out here with these guys, and I enjoy Ricky because Ricky's been a pretty good person, and John's been pretty good. I like John. He's been a lot. And the owner has been pretty good. And the people that's around here are pretty good people. I'm trying to meet more people. I'm just a new face. But starting to know the neighbors now. So, you know, and I like to speak my Maidu language, but a lot of people don't understand me. So I'm going to tell them in English what they say, because if I don't say, what did that word say? What did you say anyway? So I'm going to say bye now. Maham koshke not bye. Sieta uku. Chawe te wa. Maham. Anyway, oh.
Thank you so much, Windwalker. We're going to keep the meeting pretty brief today because we're out on the job site doing this project. And there's the previous 5 roundtables led us to where we are here. We're following the guidance of our elders and our ancestors, telling us the direction that we need to go. And they say we need to build community. That we need to hold ceremony, that we need to walk in prayer, and that we need to find the good in people and collaborate on building something that's sustainable, that heals our very sick world. And we're doing it. We've come up with a really solid elevator pitch that I'd like everyone to acknowledge. Technology for traditional ecological knowledge. Tech for tech. And what we're building here in actual real space on the land is represented in the digital realm, in cyberspace, on our gilded platform. This group, Return California, is one of many groups working on California independence. We have a new political party established, political action committees working. We have independence movements all over the place gathering signatures to try and use settler-colonial systems to get what we know we need. If they refuse, then too bad. We're building it. It's here. They can come and try and shut us down, and it's not going to happen. We have the ancestors on our side. We have all of our ancestors, all of the nations, all of the traditional ecological knowledge on our side. And so I'd like to invite everyone here verbally to the California Independence Movement Gilded server. And I will be following up with the recording of this meeting, as well as an email invitation to that server. And I want to specify, I'm going to repeat this again and again for technology reasons. Please use your internet browser on a laptop or an iPad to establish yourself on the platform. Do not download an app for your phone or your computer until after you have found the server. This is essential information, and I'll repeat it in the email. And please read the instructions and follow them as you're going along, because if you make a wrong turn somewhere, you can end up somewhere that you really don't want to be. So this digital realm is incredibly powerful. You're going to start talking to robots and ancestors, and they're going to guide you to wherever your energy wants to be to support everything that you're seeing here today. So thank you all so much for being here, for contributing your time and your energy and your support. And I'd like to open the floor for questions, hopefully keeping it somewhat brief because I'd really like to get back to work on this bark house. Anyone?
Well, just
Corey, hold on, Matt. Hold on, Matt.
I've got one. This is more for all of us, Who are the fewest amount of individuals that it would take in order to accomplish the most for everyone's sake?
Does Grandma have an answer?
Grandma got all kind of answers, but she ain't gonna say it right now.
Grandma's not going to say it right now.
Just think about it.
Say it one more time.
Who are the fewest amount of individuals that it would take in order to accomplish the most for everyone's sake?
All right. One.
We should start with
Start with one. Whoa, we're way ahead. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people here in real time building this bark house, holding ceremony with the fire.
The land is calling. We as one should work as one.
yeah.
No one's better than the other one. The earth is the earth. You're human, but I still grow, and you still have problems. So wait to my ho, go, wait, ho.
That clear enough for you? Matt, you got something to say, brother?
Yeah, just kind of a
Well,
one
hold
of
on,
those
we got
good
a
news,
big
bad
truck.
news.
Hold on, Matt. Got a big truck. Can't hear you. Hold on. Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, just one of those good news, good news kind of things. Well, here on Kauai land, they reclaimed their trails some time ago, and they really cleaned them up. They have a before and after thing, I was told by a person of the Torres Martinez band, that the Agua Caliente band has really cleaned up the canyon. Going back to my original indigenous territory, the Uviatam, they finally managed to get back their sacred springs after much effort. They finally got it back. What they don't have back is half of Strawberry Creek, which Nestle's is still taking for free. You talk about Mini Wikone. Well, that's sort of the flip side of the coin, is they got the springs back, but they don't have all the water back. Okay, half of it is still going to Nestle's. When we return the land, that land, all of it, will be returned to them. As it is, the pipe crosses the easement, so it may be of the recovered land of the springs. So they might be able to shut it down and put it back into the springs where it belongs. I don't know, but for now, that pipe is still there, stealing. It's like a vampire fang, sucking dry Strawberry Creek to be put into Arrowhead bottled water, of all things.
Did you see the news out of Washington yesterday?
What you got?
Washington just passed legislation that kicked Crystal Geyser out. They're no longer allowed to extract water. And there's a whole nother conversation around water that we can have when public land is returned to traditional ecological knowledge balance. All those issues fall by the wayside because when the people stand against the machines, the people win. Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
I had a question.
We got
need
something else in the chat.
Can I ask a question?
Hold on, we got a couple ahead of you in the chat, Marcus. Yeah, SAS asks about shifting funds from industrial ag to permaculture systems. California is really leading the way on that. They're calling it the Healthy Soils Initiative. So you can dig in there. The NRDC, the National Resource Council, as well as the California Department of Food and Ag, are doing incredible work around carbon sequestering and mandating living soil. Luca is the man on that too, with Smartsville Organic Farm right here associated with this project. So we got a lot going on. Karen says, it all starts as one. Thank you for speaking your language. I love hearing it, even though I don't understand. He says he'll talk to you in English when you need to know. All right. Anybody else have anything to say? Going once.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
One thing, the organization that's doing this is the Mountain Maidu Summit Consortium. You can check out our website and see what's going on. I just want to say that.
do you know the website address offhand?
Maidu Summit Consortium.org.
Maidu Summit Consortium.org. Can you confirm that, Les?
Hold on for a second and I'll confirm that real quick.
Thank you so much. Now, while you're looking at that, we had someone join us. Richard Bird, can you say hello and introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm in Healdsburg, California. I'm getting an echo. And I'm interested in what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Richard. We had Sass in the chat say maidusummit.org. So it's
Yes, that is correct.
MAIDU summit, SUMMIT.org. And Les confirmed.
Yes.
Awesome. This group is going to be helping in any way that we can with Yellow Creek and Humbug Valley. And what we're doing here is so high traffic that we'll be able to get a lot of people aware of what's happening here on this trading village. And we'll be able to send people up there to camp and learn the traditional ways. So all the things that we've talked about in the previous 5 roundtables are now actually happening in real time on physical space in 2 different locations in the Sierra Nevadas. And to reiterate what happened on a previous session, we now have an all indigenous crew that is doing tree work all over Northern California, currently with contracts with 8 different counties. Nevada County is one of them. So get your county involved and give this team some work. And with that crew comes the knowledge and the way to restore the land to its pre-colonial splendor. Extremely exciting. Let's see, Marcus, I'm sorry, you had something to say?
I would just, different indigenous nations were brought together to build the bark house. It's a beautiful story. Perhaps tell people that story. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Marcus. This is Nisenan land. And Nisenan is one group of Maidu people. Maidu actually means people. Most of the tribes' names means people in their language. That's what they call themselves. We're the people, people of the land, the stewards of the land, right? This is a really common, simple understanding that really can create a aha moment for people when they're like, oh, that's cool. So I know how to say people in all the languages that I know the tribes for. So we're doing it. The mountain Maidu come here from up in Plymouth County, where Marshall's from, where his wife's from. You come from Plymouth County also, right, Rod? Mm-hmm. Also Plymouth County. They're the ones hosting this thing. Gabrielle just joined us, and I know she's in Chico, Paradise, Machupta Maidu territory. So Machupta is another band of Maidu. And I believe their language, the dialect is slightly different than the Mountain Maidu, even though they're very close geographically. 315 dialects in their language. So before we broke ground here, we connected with the Nisenan and we got their permission to do this. Then we reached out to every other tribe that would listen with the intention of what we're doing here and an invitation to come. And even those who couldn't be here gave us their permission. So what we're doing on Nisenan land with Maidu people is creating a trade village, which is traditionally neutral territory. Everyone is welcome. No ownership. It's a very simple way to practice what we're preaching with these roundtables. And I can't tell you enough how honored I am to be a part of this. And I extend the invitation to all of you and ask all of you to extend the invitation as well to come hold ceremony in this space, learn the traditional ecological knowledge and apply it using technology to build the world that you want to live in. It's really that simple. when traditional ecological knowledge meets permaculture, and you start to talk about the founder of permaculture, Bill Mollison in Australia, one of my favorite things that I ever heard was from him. And he said, while the problems of the world become increasingly complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple. So thank you all so much for being here. Stand by for the email invitation to our digital trade village. That's the California Independence Movement Gilded Server. And you can dig in there and see all the groups that are working toward that goal, including Return California, the host of this meeting. And find your tribe. Wherever your passion is, if you don't see it represented in the server, build it there. When you build it there and energy is there, people can see that. It's a real-time example of where the energy is. So if everybody is in the Mountain Maidu Summit Consortium channel, then that's where everybody wants to be. That's where we're eating good food, sitting around the fire, telling stories, praying, listening to great music, sweating, laughing, crying, being human with each other. All the good medicine. Anybody got anything else?
John, if I could say one thing real quick. Yes, California would like to offer all CalExit members who are willing to go and help the Bark House under the guise of John, we will help subsidize you. So if you are a CalExit member, if you want to get up there and help John, yes, California will help subsidize transportation fees and means for anyone who's connected to CalExit, as long as John approves. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. That's very generous. And in our digital trade village, we will have a fundraising platform. And we're only going to need those funds for a little while, because once we get up and rolling, the resources are going to be here. And we can start living a resource-based economy and stop playing with slave tokens.
Hey, John, can you let everybody know when you're going to be there for the Bark House building days?
We're probably going to finish this one today, and the weather is going to determine our next building. But I am going to send an email invitation. And if you're not on the Return California mailing list, just put your email address in the chat and I'll add you. And I'll be sending out the recording from this meeting, as well as some photos and some stories and an invitation to the digital trade village, California Independence Movement Gilded platform. I think Sass is already on there. Marcus is already on there. Who else? Sue, are you on there yet? Joe Payne's on there. Can you all see the potential of this platform? Matt's on there. Yeah, it's happening. This cannot be stopped. It's bigger than any one of us. So thank you so much. Mitakuye Oyasin for all our relations. Aho.
Oh.
Nikki Hisk.